Hi everybody, welcome back to a brand new tutorial. Today we're going to look at Tinkercad, which is a fantastic 3D computer assisted design software which is free and available for you to use. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So you want to type in Tinkercad, go here and then log in using your Ashland Gmail. And once you do that, this is what you'll come to. This will be your menu. And to create a new design, you very simply just select Create New Design. I'm going to go ahead and open one that I was playing around with earlier that I'm going to use for this tutorial, and I'll simply select Tinker This, and then give it a second, and it will load. Now here you are inside of the menu. If you scroll with your mouse button, that will zoom in and out on the work plane or the field, whatever it is you would like to call it. If you right-click, this will allow you to move around on the work plane to look at different items. It'll make more sense here in a second when I show you putting on different items. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead, we're going to drop in a couple items. We're going to drop in a box, as you can see from over here. This automatically comes up under Tinkercad Basic Shapes. And we'll go ahead and we'll drop in another box. Why not? Just so you can kind of get an idea what it looks like. Now, as I mentioned, if you right click, this will allow you to move around and zoom. Move around on the plane. If you scroll in and out with your mouse scroller, again, you can zoom in, zoom out, things of that nature. Over here on the sidebar, you have menus as well that allow you to do that. You can zoom specifically in on an object that you have selected. To select an object, all you do is just simply click on it. And now you're going to notice, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, different items pop up. So for instance, this tells you here the width and length, the width of the document itself and the height. You can also check the height up when you select in here. Now notice it's telling you this is 20 high. So again, if you go in here and you want to angle it, now notice how if I keep my cursor inside of this here, it does it individually. If I just simply hold it, look, it does it at different intervals for you automatically. So it's pretty nice. Keeps it simple for you as well. And then just like on a keyboard, you hit Control Z and that will undo anything that you had done previously. So as you notice, I'm going to scroll in here again. To move the item, if you want to make it bigger, you just simply can select and make it larger. If you would like to make it smaller, you can bring it down. You'll see that the measurements occur. And then if you wanted to raise it up, this allows you, the arrow button allows you to move it up and down off of the plane. We have that taken care of. You have an idea of how to use the angles and everything else. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to return to my home screen. And now you'll notice everything comes back up. It's really nice and keeps it really simple for you. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually going to delete these two items here just to show you what that looks like. I'm going to move this square into the center. Now how I do that is I just simply click on it and drag it. And that will allow you to alter it, or excuse me, to move it. And then to alter the size, again, you just select one of the options in the corner, drag options, and that will do that for you. Notice down here on the snap grid, this will allow you to change how much it can move at a time. So if you zoom in, you'll notice all these little squares here. So these are tenths of a millimeter. So if you move it to 0.5, notice it will only move 0.5 at a time. So it's pretty nice. It can help you make your life a little bit easier. You can always go and switch it back to 1 millimeter, whatever it is that you would like, even like as you saw down to 0.25, 1/2 millimeter, and 1/10 of a millimeter. So pretty nice options there for you. You'll notice on the right side, we have this Tinkercad box, which pops up. This will allow you to input different items as well. So text and numbers, which we're going to do here momentarily. You can see very simply, it goes through the alphabet. You can scroll through. You can take a look at those if you would like. Characters, maybe a little more fun activity to put on there. Hangout space, if you have people, maybe for instance, if you're having people design a home, students design a house or a living area or a recreation of a historical place. Shape generators, you can scroll through here. All, and you can just go on forever and ever and ever and look at all the different items that are in here. It's really pretty cool, all the stuff that they give you. Assemblies, especially this is great for science. tech class components, and lastly, you see some printable kits, and then it allows you to save different favorites as well. So now we're back at our square. I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to make this a little bit bigger. And here we go. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to insert some text and numbers. So I'm going to select text and numbers. And I'm going to drop in, let's see here, go back to page 1. I'm going to drop in an A and a U. And I'm going to drop in as well an exclamation point. So now what I want to do is I want to put these letters on top of my box. Maybe I'm creating a door sign, so something to hang up, or a keychain, for instance, or a key rack, excuse me. Is that even the right word? I don't even know, but you get the point. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we want to move these letters. Now notice our rectangle is 20 millimeters above the ground, so the printing surface is 20 millimeters up. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to drop this down. We're going to make this 5 millimeters. Now notice they are not lined up, so the A is not on top of there. So what we have to do is this. It's very simple. Click here. We're going to move this to 5. Now it is at the same level as the top of the box. We'll do the same thing to our U, and then we'll also do the same thing to our exclamation point. Now they're ready to be moved on top. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and move 1, move our U, and now we will move our exclamation point. So everything now is on top here. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are lined up, which we are. We want to make sure there's no space between here because it will not recognize it. It will have a difficult time printing if your students or you go to print. So now we want to make sure we're lined up and good to go, which we are. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to make sure that all of my letters are exactly the same size. So 1125, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to make it 12. Same thing over here. That way you can make sure it's consistent all the way through. 12 and 12. Now we're all the same size. So the next thing we want to do is we want to group these together so that they are one specific item. In order to do that, you take your select tool, highlight everything, and then up here in the menu bar, we're going to hit group. Now when it goes to print, it is all one specific grouped item, and it will print it all that way at once. So you don't have to worry about having separate items or it only printing certain things. It'll print everything at once. Now you're good to go. So notice when you go to move this item, if you rotate it, the whole thing moves at once because they are now grouped. So it's really, really nice if you, for instance, are going to be merging different pieces together. Maybe you have a cylinder. Go back here to our basic shapes. Maybe you're going to have a cylinder and a box. You can go ahead and merge those together. And now what we're going to do with this one to kind of reinforce that point is I'm going to go in and I want to make sure I'm all lined up here and measured up. So that way I am on exact points to make it easy for myself when I go in and actually lay out my material. So move it one more. There we go. Now we're good to go. Okay, so one thing we want to do, let's say we're making this as, like I mentioned, like a door hanger or placard or things of that nature to hang on the wall. You're going to want to put in holes. Or maybe you're having students, you're building something and they need to connect something. So in order to do that, as you notice, when I pointed out earlier, we put in different shapes, right? Well, if we want to put in holes, it's similar. So notice, if I click on cylinder and I drag it over here, it's going to come up with two options, which is solid, so I can choose the different color that I would like for that specific shape, or I can make it be a hole. Now notice, it's going to be larger than the size that I have here. So I'm just going to simply make it smaller, and we'll just make it 6 by 5, and now we'll drop it on top of our project to hang on the wall, for instance. Now you're going to notice, but it doesn't go all the way down. So what we have to do, just like we would on our is now go through, make sure we're at 0.00, and now we're good to go. But notice when you click off, it stays where it is. So what you want to do to duplicate, you just simply hit Control D, and that will duplicate it for you. And then by using the arrows, you can go ahead and actually move it down or to the side. Now what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and hit Control D again, highlight the two cylinders, Control D, and now notice I copied them both at the same time, and now they are ready to go, and they are on my plaque. But notice there's no actual hole there yet, right? So what I have to do is I have to go back and regroup all of this together. So I had A, U, exclamation point, and the box all grouped. Now it's time for me to do the same thing for the cylinders. I just simply use my select all tool, which is click left. I go to group, and now notice I have holes for screws or for whatever it is to go ahead and hang that. So if I were to print this, it would look exactly like this. Maybe not this color, but it would do whatever it is that you wanted to do. Pretty nice. We got to make sure everything is connected within the plane. So now you're basically ready to print. So a couple things that I wanted to show you before we do that. What you want to do is make sure that your entire group is at 0.000. You don't want to be above the plane because that will make it difficult if it prints at all. So make sure you are at 0 to make sure you are ready to go on print. After you do that, you are ready to export your document, your file. So we go up here to export. We want everything in the design. We're going to do a .stl for this project, so go ahead and select that option. It will download right to your computer, and here is the file that you will submit into Blackboard along with your script for your sales pitch, I should say, for your product. So the objective of this exercise is for you to create a product that can be used for educational purposes that is not yet on the market and design a Shark Tank style sales pitch to get classmates or consumers to buy your specific item. So this has just been a brief tutorial on how to use Tinkercad. Hopefully you find it useful and you are able to come up with a really good project for your students and for this class. Thank you for watching.